Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader. Last time we made it to Darganas, where Abelard's family, the Viserion family, was being tried for treason by the Drive Stems and the other noble families of Darganas and the Valencia's Protectorate. We have already gone through and talked to everybody and found out that Cornelius's son, where is he? Oh, no, he's right there. Cornelius. So it was this guy's son, Urban's son, Cornelius, was messing up the numbers. Not on purpose. It seemed like it was just incompetence. And to cover his tracks, he, with the urging of a mysterious figure, blamed the Viserions and framed them. We don't know who the mysterious figure is yet, but the Ubex, or the Gapraks, sorry, also seem to be manipulated by this group or figure, and there's a chance we might find out as we continue. So let's go ahead and start. And we are ready to pass judgment now. Oh, I found a dead body in my palace. A member of House Gaprak was slain in front of an altar. Do you know anything about it? A member of House Gaprak was killed in the palace? The governor's eyes bulged in surprise. And no one noticed? But how? There are wardens posted at every altar. There was no one near the deceased. The wardens had left their post. Did you order them to do so? Emperor forbid, your ladyship. The governor helplessly throws his hands up in the air as if to signify his powerlessness. Your negligence is stunning, Urban. An assassination attempt followed by a mysterious death, and yet here you are, oblivious to everything. The rogue trader can justly accuse you of allowing a noble to be killed in the palace and of failing even to notice it. It may be so, but it is for the rogue trader to accuse me of negligence, not you. The governor addresses you once more. Your ladyship, accept my deepest apologies for my impudence, or my imprudence. Nothing matters more to me than my honor. I shall send the servants to deal with all this immediately. Did you see Macarius Sourback today before I arrived? Macarius? I did not see him myself, but perhaps... The governor turns around and asks his family, have any of you seen him today? The nobles talk quietly amongst themselves, and then a middle-aged woman with a tall, extravagant hairstyle replies to you. I think my sister and I saw him sitting on the bench some distance away from the palace's entrance. We think he was accompanied by a gentleman, but forgive us, your ladyship, we could not make out his face. Lead me to that place. Of course. Consider it done. Oh, do I actually have to follow you?
The world will bow.
Oh, is it this bench right here?
How fascinating.
I saw Lord Sourback conversing with someone here, your ladyship. 100% awareness? That's a first.
I read about this.
I recognize this bouquet. House Sourback usually serves this wine. Okay. What am I supposed to do with that information? I guess I'll go talk to the Sourbacks now?
I tread a path unexplored.
I discovered a dead body in my palace. A man of House Gaprak was killed while praying to the Emperor. He had this note on him. Do you know anything about it? Hetka, standing behind Macarius, spots the note you are holding. Immediately, he balls his fists and jerks his head away. He exhales deeply through his nose in a bid to contain some clearly overwhelming emotion. Strange reaction. Macarius looks at the note without taking it from your hands, and replies without hesitation. No, I know nothing about this note. Hetka, I wish to have a word with you in private. Your ladyship, perhaps you noticed my momentary weakness. My apologies for my outburst. That note, you see, I was not fast enough to read the text, but I would recognize the paper anywhere. Those sheets with the custom gold embossing on the edges can be found in my father's office. The young man hangs his head, shifting uneasily from foot to foot. You seem tense. What is wrong? I don't believe my father can be involved in this. He can often be harsh and rude, but a conspiracy against the rogue trader is unthinkable. This goes against everything he has taught me ever since I was born. I cannot even imagine the possibility that he has betrayed himself in such a way. Let's return to the others. Yeah, it feels like some shadowy force behind the scenes is framing all these families and using weaker members of the family to do so. Is what I'm gathering from all this. Which probably is, accurate, if I had to guess.
Intriguing.
Alright. I think we're ready to go now, for real this time. Summon everyone. I'm ready to pronounce my verdict. Understood, your ladyship. Allow me to prepare everything. Many faces are watching you, each and every one, awaiting the rogue trader's verdict with bated breaths. The charges brought by Governor Driveston were fabricated. House Viserion had nothing to do with the orchestration of the riots or the plot targeting the rogue trader. However, the real perpetrators are here in this very room. The Seneschal nods to you as if urging you to continue, then shifts his piercing gaze to the crowd before you. Oh boy. Oh, a lot of options. Okay. Urban Driveston, you have exhibited inexcusable negligence by failing to question the possible involvement of any other families besides the Viserions. We have discovered that the attempt on my life was orchestrated by a member of House Gaprak. 100% awareness. I don't know which one's true. Urban Driveston, you have accused House Viserion of violations that were in truth the result of a grave error committed by your son. Well, we know that is true. Toriana Gaprak, a member of your family, orchestrated an assassination attempt against me, here in my own palace, and though he has already been found dead, his act is reason enough to forever brand your house as traitors. Macarius Auerbach, your overt contempt toward me is reason enough to implicate you in the conspiracy. I know that House Gaprak offered their help to the Gapraks. House Auerbach offered their help to House Gaprak. And the late Helen Gaprak seemed to have accepted the offer. I suspect that you are responsible for his death as well. In this conspiracy against the rogue trader, I find... Okay, let's go with this one first. Maybe all these are true, but I know for a fact this one's true. The governor closes his eyes, fear and shame getting the better of him. Some faces in the crowd look confused and surprised, but you see more wearing expressions of self-satisfied contempt. Abelard looks from the governor to you and suddenly shakes his head as if to say, no, it is not Driveston pulling the strings here. Alright, let's go with the first one. The governor closes his eyes, fear and shame. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was going to implicate the Gapraks too. I guess we'll go with this one. House Gaprak. Mocking whispers creep through the crowd. Toriana is trembling faintly. She still does not raise her head, perhaps out of fear of meeting her fate face to face. The Seneschal's hard gaze softens. An elusive gesture visible only to you conveys the message. Toriana Gaprak is guilty only of her own poor judgment. I know the House Sauerbach offered their help to the Gapraks. Sauerbach furrows his brows and slightly cocks his head. He averts his gaze for the first time as if trying to remember or make sense of something. You know, some restless movement behind him. Abelard narrows his eyes and scrutinizes Macarius Sauerbach and his retinue standing behind him. His sharp eyes light up when he catches sight of something important and hidden in the crowd. The Seneschal looks at you and nods as if to say the puppeteer has given himself away. Pronounce the verdict. In the conspiracy against the rogue trader, I find... There in the room is frozen with a tense, almost electrified silence. All the nobles, some with fear and others with reverent anticipation, await your verdict. House Sauerbach guilty. Seneschal, you may take it from here. House Sauerbach guilty. The head of your family has never tried to hide his attitude toward me. That is more than enough to convict him. House Gaprak guilty. One of your members orchestrated an attack on the rogue trader. Treason by anyone's reckoning. Seneschal, you may take it from here. House Sauerbach is guilty. Abelard steps forward and stares intently at House Sauerbach's patriarch. Macarius, I must admit, I have always admired your bluntness. But just as I once had to say goodbye to a promotion because of my dislike for intrigue, you and your family might soon say goodbye to your heads. Tell me now in your blunt fashion, are you loyal to House von Valancius? Sauerbach narrows his eyes, grimacing. I am loyal, Viserion. Abelard studies Sauerbach, then suddenly nods. You are not lying, but someone else is. Someone who is poised to destroy both you and your family for her own gain. Her? Macarius does not have time to respond. Regina, who is standing beside him, raises her arm as if to slap the elderly seneschal. Abelard deftly catches her wrist, stopping her hand right in front of his face. Her dainty hand is adorned with a massive augmetic ring topped with a thin spike dripping with venom. Sauerback shifts his confused gaze from his wife to Abelard, then back again. The stiff arrogance has vanished from his posture. Regina? You? Mother. Upon realizing what has happened, Hetka recoils from his mother. Macarius, your bluntness makes you an open book. When I talked about helping the Gapraks, you had no idea what I was referring to. Your wife, on the other hand, her eyes started shifting like you would not believe. Regina Sauerback, you alone betrayed the rogue trader, jeopardizing the prosperity of the von Valancius trade dynasty, and you alone are responsible for your unmasking. Regina, why would you do this? Who aided you? There's no way you managed all this on your own. Why'd you kill Helen Gaprak? Abelard, the sentence is yet to be carried out. Finish this. Why would you do this? Like the spikes on her ring, Regina's words are dripping with poison and rage. Because Darganus is serving an impostor. The true heir of the Protectorate bears a different name. When Conrad appeared on Darganus, he paid me a visit and opened my eyes to the truth of the situation. Theodoria was killed by the one whom she had so unwarily taken under her wing. Macarius is too narrow-minded to even consider opposing the rogue trader, even in a legitimate one. So I had to wait for the right moment, and the disappearance of the Lord Captain could not have come at a better time. It was quite simple to trigger a chain of events on Darganus so that the people remembered Master Voigtvir's past service. It seems that many of your subjects do not actually consider you a worthy successor. Why the Viserians? Because when stripped of the Seneschal's protection, this house is the weakest one of all. And they are also particularly disliked by the governor's family. It would have been easy to bury the Viserians under accusations of heresy. Who aided you? Oh, of course I didn't do it on my own. I have too many helpers to list them all, but rest assured there are plenty of them, just as there are plenty of people who follow Master Voigtvir. My death will not change anything. The true rogue trader will come and take his rightful place when the time is right. What about Helen Gaprak? Helen was a good agent, but he was also a coward. He came to me just before our formidable rogue trader arrived. He was ready to confess everything. I suggested that he plead for the Emperor's forgiveness first, and he did. Grant him mercy. Did he not? Abelard, finish this. Abelard turns his gaze to you. Does the rogue trader condemn only the rotten apple or the entire barrel? Ooh. I like Macarius, and I like Hetka. If it was the drive stems, I probably would kill the whole family, because he's feeling pretty incompetent to me at the moment. And so is his son. The fact that Macarius seemed to be so loyal to me that his own wife couldn't turn to him bodes well. I will not exterminate an entire noble line that is loyal to me just because of one traitor. In that case, Regina Sauerback shall be subjected to intense interrogation, followed by my execution. In Traitor's Ring. Received. Alright. Now, hopefully the Sauerbacks don't hold this against me, right? They blame me for their mother's death or anything like that. I feel like the circumstances lend themselves to not thinking that. Right? Like, I mean, it's pretty clear that she not only betrayed me, but her family. By order of the rogue trader, Regina Sauerback is sentenced to death for heresy and crimes against the von Valancius trade dynasty. God, what's happening in the background there? Oh my God. What are we doing? Just kill her. Jesus. Like drilling her guts out while she's alive. Ugh. What an execution. I guess the days of just like a quick execution are gone, huh? brutal. Let that serve as a lesson to everybody else, though. When the nobles disperse, sated by their bloody performance, Abelard approaches you, his steps firm. Lord Captain, you have my thanks. A rogue trader should not waste time on the matters that her servants and trustees can resolve. But in this case, your intervention was necessary, not just for the sake of my family, but for your trade dynasty as well. Regina Sauerback, evidently Conrad's accomplices, continue to plot against your protectorate. I fear we have not heard the last of such scoundrels. You executed Regina on charges of treason. I wonder if we had executed the whole family, if that would have been better. It might have been. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, House Viserion is saved, although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without imprudence within. Abelard pauses for a moment, staring off into the distance. Sometimes I think about how much I could teach them. I can ensure that they survive in the future without me. What are you going to do now? You and your family must be prepared for the next time something like this happens. You and your family must be prepared. Abelard nods deep in thought. That is true. They need to be prepared for it, and I want to believe that they will be able to take care of it themselves. I need time to reflect upon what happened here, and the role I played in it. I think I will be ready to resume this conversation later, when we are back on board the ship. Abelard bows to you deferentially, and turns away, lost in thought. Is he going to quit his job to take care of the family? I'd be okay if that's the way he leaves my party. I would be okay with that. But he is a very valuable member of my team. But with Ulfar, I mean, Ulfar's a good replacement for him. And then we could have, you know, Argenta back in the party. Or Jay. Probably Argenta, though. Hey, how you doing? Your ladyship? Clementia looks away from her data slate. I hope your stay on Darganas will be beneficial to your physical and mental state. I understand that the heir to a protectorate must have her hands full, but one shouldn't forget about rest. Not even a thank you. Wow. Horrible people. Okay. I do believe we're good to leave. I was kind of hoping they would have patched in a straight to ship button. But they have not. Unfortunate. That was good though. I enjoyed that little bit of court intrigue. Let's go back to the ship and see what Abelard's decision turns out to be. I don't know if his family really should have been blamed as much as he's blaming them for not catching this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he would have caught it. He is pretty sharp. But then again, he's like, what? A generation older than all the other ones? Right, because Clementia's not his daughter. That's his granddaughter, right? I don't think we've met any of his, like, daughter's daughter. Or his direct children. I don't think, anyway. Alright, to the ship. And then after this, we're going to head up to Heinrich's quest. Always hire mercenaries to tailor your experience or gather a wholly unique party and play co-op with your friends. How is the co-op in this game? Have you guys heard anything about it or played it? I wonder how good it is. I have a couple friends who like to play, who play games co-op a lot. All right, Abelard.
Lord Captain, Allow me to express my gratitude once again for your assistance. If it weren't for your intervention, my entire family could have been executed on false charges. I could have lost them all. I never imagined the Viserians would be so vulnerable, while I serve as seneschal to the Lord Captain herself, far from home.
Yeah, it's leading that way.
To tell you the truth, Lord Captain, this whole situation has got me thinking. As patriarch of the Viserian family, I have a responsibility to my bloodline. Yes, it is my duty to serve as seneschal to the rogue trader, and I have no intention of relinquishing that role if you find my service as satisfactory as did Lady Theodora. However, if I could be more involved in my family's affairs and still serve the von Valancius dynasty.
What do you want? Tell me plainly. I understand your desire. Traditions and old ways must change. I will allow you to return to Darganas after the immediate crisis in the Expanse has passed. That's fair. I cannot let you go, Abelard. You're indispensable. What do you want? Tell me plainly.
Under Lady Theodora, I served as steward of the Trade Protectorate on more than one occasion. In that capacity, I was based on Darganas, rather than traveling with the rogue trader on the flagship. If it would be possible, after the immediate need for my presence is over, I would like to return to that position. To oversee the Trade Protectorate on the capital world, while at the same time presiding over the Viserian family and using my authority to help elevate it.
I understand your desire. Traditions and old ways must change. Yeah, it sounds good to me. As soon as we're done here.
Thank you, Lord Captain. Under my watch, the Trade Protectorate will remain safe and prosper in service to you.
Abelard stands ramrod straight and makes the sign of the Aquila. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I was afraid that we were going to have to make a decision that he goes now and takes control of the family. But if he's going to stick around to the end, that's fine.
Well then, Lord Captain. It is time I return to my duties. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Nope.
Lord Captain.
Okay. Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Alright, with that done, we do need to repair our ship here. And speaking of our ship, didn't we get like some ship upgrades I forgot to put on? Yeah. Alright, so this is a straight upgrade, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So we can put this in cargo. And then this is an upgrade as well. A little less speed, but strong acceleration and braking. There we go. How's our colonies doing? Lord Captain, the Crucible's great sculpting is underway. Foulstone is being transformed right before our eyes into a fertile world with lush groves and clean water. However, there is evidence that the Crucible has also created humans. From the mouth of the relic came several thousand people who, speaking in an archaic form of Low Gothic, demanded to be given orders. They cultivate land, build houses and production facilities with obedience and, in general, have a remarkable range of skills and knowledge. However, it seems that these people completely lack their own free will, and for this, the monks have named them the Touched. The tech priests who serve the Crucible came upon birthing vats built into the relic. The machine is constantly growing new Touched within them. There is a split among the believers, though many call it a miracle sent by the Emperor himself and want to quickly put the Touch to work. A part of the population is frightened by these soulless creatures born from an ancient machine. They demand that the planet's learned men intervene in this great sculpting and find a way to stop the production of the Touched. How dangerous are these Touched? They do not appear to pose a threat. The autopsy of several specimens has shown that they are physiologically identical to ordinary humans. No traces of corruption or xenotampering were found either. However, their obedience is a double-edged sword. They obey any orders without knowing or caring about who gives them. And thus, nothing prevents a cunning intruder from bending their will, creating an army of obedient slaves or spies at their disposal. What think my officers and advisors? I forgot to look at the options, damn it. They were born by the relic of Saint Cognatius, which means they please the Emperor. We have to remind people of it. Arrange a public ceremony of tonsure. to initiate the Touched into the Order of the Hammer, and a service dedicated to reading parables about the acts of Saint Cognatius and his followers. Why don't you make the first move and assemble a mighty force from these Touched ones? If they are so obedient and diligent, they will make fine troops. Assign a loyal commander to each squad to keep an eye on them, and these strange people will turn from a threat into a mighty defender of the Imperium. Lack of will, registering a high probability of manufacturing failure within the Crucible's sacred processes. It is recommended to dispose of the finished batch of units and halt production of new ones. The algorithm of the Great Sculpting requires further examination. Alright, so we got this one. Complacency, efficiency up, and icons of the Touched. Sacred icons painted by the Touched adorn the ship's deck. Enemy critical hit chance on and warp damage against the flagship are reduced by 30%. That's pretty good. Listen to Ulfar's advice. Security +2, Crucible-born Tempest. The Touched, who were recruited as enforcers, gave form to the ancient knowledge stored in their minds by modifying the Void ship's weapons using sacred archaeotech. Long-range dorsal plasma macro cannons, which fire 2 shots, dealing 26 damage per shot. That sounds good. I wish I could compare that to what we have. And then efficiency and complacency down. If we would just pronounce the Touched as the property of the Order of the Hammer, let them continue to serve the believers. Pascal's advice would give us 1 complacency, 1 security, -1 efficiency, and wisdom extractor. All allies gain 5% armor and 5% critical hit chance. Oh, wow. That's really good. The architect secrets extracted from the heads of the Touched were given to the gunsmiths tending the rogue trader's armory. Ooh. That's a good one. That's unfortunate, because honestly, I was not thinking about doing either of these two. I was between these two originally. But that reward's good. I do think I'm going to go with Argentas, though. Hold a public tonsure ceremony for the order with a service dedicated to Saint Cognatius. Right? We get efficiency and complacency, no negatives, and icons of the Touch. I like this more than just the than Ulfar's weapon, even though I think this is probably a really good weapon, the Crucible-born Tempest. But this is just a flat passive boost to my ship, which I think is better. I'm sure we'll get other good weapons for our ship. So we're gonna go with this. I will draft a detailed plan of the ceremony and hand it over to the abbot. Under the guidance of the brothers and sisters of the Order of the Hammer, the Touched carried on with their toils, cultivating the land and building new settlements. The public induction of the Touched, along with their diligent service, eventually solidified their image in the minds of the people as the executors of Saint Cognatius's will, sent down to the faithful to ease their burdens during the great sculpting. Any concerns about the Touched possibly posing a danger were completely dispelled. Awesome. 2 profit factor, 9 provisions, 4 complacency. Is that good? Do we want complacency? It's the amount of profit factor produced by the colony and the speed of projects in the colony, increasing and decreasing them by 10% for each point of complacency, respectively. Very nice. 90 of these. That's crazy. We are rich. Why is our security down there? Void beacons. Alright. Okay, so the Crucible is finished on Foulstone, which means we could get rank 5, Holy Defenders. The monastery damaged by the Crucible will be rebuilt. Meanwhile, the monks will begin to process knowledge the process of acknowledging the kinship of Saint Cognatius and the Von Valances line. Ooh. And we get Arbiter Solemn Veer's armor. Heavy armor, 85% armor. This armor once belonged to Solomon Veer of the Adeptus Arbitus. While pursuing the head of a major crime syndicate, Flavius Colt, Veer went beyond the bounds of the Calixus sector and his own jurisdiction. Outnumbered, he was felled by the criminal and his henchmen, but took them all out with him. His armor was kept in the reliquary of the Caranus Expanse division of the Administratum. When the wearer hits a criminal enemy, that enemy gains a 1 stack of perplexed effect for 2 rounds, and base armor is coercion divided by 10 deflection. That's pretty cool. We also get 5 profit factor and 4 complacency for all colonies. This needs orbital shipyard to get the sacred comet. And the reliquary, we would need more adamantine. And that's it. Righteous charge. All collisions caused by the Thunderhammer's pushing attack deal 300% more damage. Holy shit. All targets hit by this Thunderhammer must pass an agility resistance test plus 10 or fall prone. That's a good power hammer. Okay. And we're going to hold off on building any of those right now. Let's go ahead and get this. The trader's warp currents can be made safer by sending pious patrols to help those in distress and by lighting of warp beacons. We get Navy rep, which is good, and security for all colonies. Execute. Alright, Janus. Lord Captain, the Order Xenos punitive unit, led by Acolyte Lynette Zhu, has arrived on Janus. The Inquisition forces have already taken control of the Governor's Palace and intend to deal with the anomalies on Janus. Hi, Max. Why was I not notified of their arrival in advance? I am surprised that they have informed us of their arrival at all. It demonstrates a semblance of trust. How did the Inquisition sniff out? How much did they sniff out? The initial interrogations have set Lynette Zhu on the tracks of the wretches toward the anomalous region. But her people continue to dig deeper, so to speak. Let them do their job. We get hexagrammic grace. 10 logic, 10 coercion, 10 persuasion. Okay. We shall trick them. Have my servants persuade the Inquisitors that there's nothing important on the planet. -1 profit factor, that seems stupid. I ordered the expulsion of these impudent fools from my world. And that also seems stupid. What do you guys think? Cooperating with the Inquisition would do us more good than trying to hide the current misfortunes of the colony. I can send them a message to keep us informed about the interrogation, as a favor. If only we could throw them a bone and let them find the evidence they want, one that we can get by without. The rest could be concealed away from their inquisitive eyes, like a sand lizard shedding its tail. Sometimes one must cede the battle to win the war. Let them do their jobs. Right, so that doesn't change. Okay. Let them do their jobs. Yep. To serve Janus and the Von Valanci's dynasty. After Lady Zhu had set up her headquarters at the Governor's Palace, she began to investigate the situation on Janus. All those feeling guilt for their crimes before the Emperor could only stay silent and pray. During her investigation, Lady Zhu has been able to establish that the genetic changes in the organisms of the sickly creatures have been caused by the effects of mysterious substances secreted into the water by the Xeno obelisk. These substances did not contaminate the water until recently, as shown by the analysis of Magos biologists. The same Xeno obelisk appear to be linked by a chain of energy communications, also serving as sources of unknown radiation that seem to have caused the outbreak of contaminated growth in the currently uncontrolled sector of the planet. This also seems to be causing the appearance of the mysterious phantoms. Lady Zhu suggested that there is some sort of ancient mechanical construction located on Janus that had awakened from its slumber, and the anomalies occurring on Janus have been caused by the blasphemous machine trying to start itself. Alright. That's from the Great Fire. A lot of provisions and some consumables, which we'll never use. Alright, so the Great Fire. Territory for new agricultures can be gained one way through fire. Yeah. And that gave us this. All allies deal 10% more damage with plasma and melta weapons. Alright, so we can get Shelter and Pleasure World. Can't get Forbidden Planet yet, because that needs more phlogiston. Is this one I want? Janus's orbit is swarming with a fleet of refugees. However, their descent to the planet would be disastrous. Nobody must learn of the construction of the Xenovivisectory for the study of Alderi culture and technology. Player characters gain the Xenovivisectionist feature. All allies gain 12% dodge against Xenos. That's pretty good. Shelter. Janus's orbit is swarming with a fleet of refugees. By turning the entire world into an enormous staging point, the Rogue Trader will save billions of lives. Get 18 people, and player gains the Merciful Savior feature. Each time an ally is healed in combat, the damage of this ally is increased by 4% until the end of combat, and this stacks. if I have a character that passively gains health back, like Cassia's, the one trait, I forget what it's called, like strange vitality or whatever it is. Does that count? I think Heinrich's has it too. Maybe. That'd be really powerful if it does count. Especially if Heinrich's has it. Pleasure World. Yanis's orbit is swarming with a fleet of refugees. By welcoming the aristocrats among them on the planet and turning it into a resort, the rogue trader will gain favor in higher circles. 5 profit factor and watcher from above. This venerable sword was wielded by the most honorable Acroprince Illumian Viat Ab Aram, who served as a paladin to the governor of Yanis 4 centuries ago. In the darkest hours, during the rebellion of the dastardly sect of the Anointed by Earth, the glorious Illumian saved his patron from the rabble, who had stormed the palace and quelled the rebellion by slaking the thirst of this noble blade with peasant blood. 25% bonus to dodge, 25% bonus to parry. Enemies hit by this sword suffer 25 penalty to their weapon skills until the wielder's next turn. This is really good. Oh, I like this sword. Oh, this is tough. Profit factor is good too. I do think I like either of these. I'm going to be honest, I think Shelter's the one we're going to go with, even though I think I like this reward more. I guess I am nobility, right? Making a pleasure world for the nobles would be nice. I don't know. This is tough. Save billions of lives. I mean, that sounds good. Let's do that. Save billions of lives. That's a lot of lives to save. Alright, Darganis, looks like you're still crafting whatever you're making. 65% executed. Vabos, you're still working. Lord Captain. There was an act of sabotage on Kiavagama. The cult of the Final Dawn has invaded the planet, cultivated a pack of schematicals in the bowels of the manufactorums, and set them upon us. The attack was so sudden that we almost lost all the workshops, but we had help. Some entities, already being called data angels, have invaded the cogitational network, seized the cogitators and servitors, and used them to repel the first onslaught of the schematicals. Now there is a fierce struggle taking place all over the planet. The noospheres of the world is boiling. Fortunately, we received information about the impending attack at the last moment. The signal was intercepted in the warp by Cubus Delphum's machine. How did the cultists infiltrate my world? This was a part of a coordinated attack that hit the entire expanse. The heretics must have spent huge amounts of time on preparations. Thanks to the fact that the planet had been thoroughly purged of the corrupting influence of Cubus Delphum, the cult now has nowhere to hide and no collaborators on the planet. They have utterly failed to compromise our world's defenses. Alright, good. That's because I was very strict in my cleansing of this world. What do we know about these data angels? Not much. They are the machine spirits beings born from the art of datasmithing. They charge into battle chanting the same Benharic mantra that the participants of Procedure 0C chanted. But there are not many nodes where they can reside, perhaps because we destroyed the cells used in Procedure 0C. This is quite beneficial to us, if we will not accept the help of these strange creatures. Well, I kind of like them now. Tech use. Let us join forces with the Data Angels and get rid of the corruption together. 100% chance. Complacency and Blessing of the Data Angels. All allies gain 5 perception and 10% armor penetration. May metal never betray the mistress whose deeds please the Omnissiah. That sounds good. Let the righteous warriors of Kiavagama exterminate all the data spirits. Security up and terror of Kiavagama. Part machine, and Necron creatures deal 10% less damage to the Rogue Trader and their allies. That's only a 65% chance, though. Opinions? There are backup cogitators located in Kiavagama's manufactorums to ensure the continuity of production in case of an accident. The severity of the situation will call for disrupting the service algorithms, and I am prepared to sanction a ritual that will allow the data angels of the Omnicide to absorb the cogitator's computing power to combat these wicked spirits. Alright, does that change this at all? No. We're gonna go with that one. Tech use. Your request to perform the sacrament is accepted and shall be fulfilled immediately. Having gained access to the cogitational reserves and after being infused with power, the data angels charged at the schematicals. The hordes of data spirits have been tech exercised and exterminated, and the afflicted mechanisms purged and restored. The tech priests gave praise to the Omnisci for protecting the production algorithm from severe disruption. After exiling the schismaticals, the data angels have retreated into hiding inside the cogitational network, leaving the servants of the Omnicide only to guess at who or what these beings were. We got Archive of the Expanse, profit factor up by 4, and Eye of the Omnicia, which one's better? 2% more to hit or 5% more critical hit chance? I think what we've got is probably better. And efficiency for all colonies is up. Is 10 the max? Yeah, it seems like it. Okay. Alright, still can't get any of these. We need Holy Ammunition, Extractium Ignifera. And this, we just need more reputation with people. Okay. Orbital shipyards. An orbital shipyard will provide the Imperium's massive vessels with proper repair and produce new void ships. That sounds good. And the rewards seem great. Get it. Alright. We're done with our colonies for now. Did we get anything that I want to equip? I don't think so. Alright, so this is where we need to go for... Yeah. For Dawn 4 is located in one of the fringe systems of the Cronus Expanse. Gartrafal's Calamity. And let's go ahead and read this. A certain message received by the Astropathic Choir of the Von Valancia's flagship has disconcerted Heinrichs. Whatever caused this sudden unease, the interrogator has requested the Rogue Trader's assistance and stressed that the matter demands her immediate attention. Alright, if it's immediate, we're gonna go. Lord Captain, we have visitors on the bridge seeking an audience. Your presence is required. Okay. It's been a long time since we've fought anything, it feels like. Ah, oh, shit. I forgot to mute my audio on my recording on my OBS. Damn it. Well, the audio is not going to be that great for the first 40 minutes of the episode. Damn it. It's been a while since I've done that, I feel like. Oh well. What's done is done. Oh wow. There's a lot of visitors. They like green too. They don't like hair either. Hello? Your ladyship. The High Factotum bows low. Every few moments, Danrock brings a perfumed cloth to his face, but his expression remains obsequious. Members of your crew have made a request to allow them to proclaim their most profound devotion to the Lord Captain, personally. Young man. A man in a worn uniform bows awkwardly. Your Highness, gracious Lord Captain, please let me speak on behalf of the whole crew and everyone and express our gratitude to you, officially, so to speak. The kind of leader you are, the way you treat people. It's now known in every corner of the expanse, from Footfold to the poorest, dirtiest, most unremarkable planet. All praise your dedication to the human spirit and goodwill. Everyone wants to serve under your command. There's no end to volunteers, so the other day when we were clearing out an abandoned sector for new living quarters, we found a forgotten vault, right in the bilge of the ship, literally beneath our feet. Well, it turned out the vault had some century-old weapons in it. They look a bit odd, but they're powerful for sure. The good tech priests helped with the assembly and consecration of the weapons, and now you can strike down your enemies with even greater might. Your ladyship, apart from the weapons, the crew has sent one more find to the bridge as a token of its eternal gratitude. A most ancient mechanism which our tech priests have dubbed the Celestium Observatorum. Alas, its machine spirit refuses to heed their rites, which makes the device more symbolic and aesthetic than practical in purpose. Do you wish to see it? Yes. Ooh. Fancy looking. Oh, it's literally me just seeing it, huh? Huh. The Celestium Observatorium looms over the deck. While the spirit of this ancient mechanism has gone silent forever, the words intricately inscribed on its frame can still serve as a source of resolve. A keen gaze sunders the darkness of bloom with deceit and reduces all corruption to ash. Awesome. Did we get, like, an actual weapon? You guys good? You good? Okay. Well, neat. Thank you for that, I guess. Did we get weapons? Oh, that's the one I bought last. Okay. Did we happen to be able to buy anything new with all of our new profit factors? I think I've gotten everything. I'm at 200 points here. Does that get us to 15? It sure does. Hell yeah. So we get this light armor. The wearer's critical hit chance in melee combat is increased by 2 times their agility bonus. Condensed carapace. 10% dodge against human enemies. Thank you. Okay. I'm just gonna check to see if I can get any more from anybody while we're here. Doesn't look like it though. Oh, we can get this stuff. Galleon adamantine void ship plating. Galleon adamantine plating protects the vessel from harm, negating 12 points of damage rather than 9 on the port and starboard side. So that's just on the star. Okay, and 5 points of damage on the fore and aft side. Oh, this is much better then. So that's just, yeah. Okay, that's really good then. And then the lance battery. Medium range lance weapon dealing 91 to 105 damage to a chosen enemy within a wide firing arc. Alright, so yeah, it's a straight upgrade over the Sunhammer lance battery. They will take it. Nothing to put in there. Okay. Cool. So I'm about to get... I will be getting 5,000 rep from one of these. Well, it takes a lot of rep for the Navy to get stuff. Okay. So this replaces the lance battery. Yep. And this replaces the armor. Much better. And we can throw all this stuff in the cargo. Okay. Let's keep moving. This is gonna be dangerous. That's as good as it's gonna get. You completed a colony project of the highest tier. Nice. The warp jump. I got the achievement. That's how I know. I keep forgetting that the achievement doesn't actually pop up for you guys, I don't think. The warp jump was unusually hectic. The recent attack of the scrap code disabled many of the sacred machines whose malfunctioning algorithms showed no sign of failure until the vessel departed real space and surrendered itself to the Sea of Souls. Only the navigator's talent and the tireless vigil of the tech priest saved the void ship from ruin. The Materium released us from its grip this time. Well, I like that. Okay. So apparently one of these finished. But you're already done? Holy crap, that was quick. Okay. We do need holy ammunition. So let's go ahead and get this. The establishment of ammunition production will be of great help in the defense of Foul Stone and neighboring systems. Nice. Your ladyship, a monstrous storm has broken out on Yanis. The apocalyptic anomalies are tearing our agri-world apart, and the epicenter is in the desecrated sector. Something must be done before the whole colony is destroyed. We have to find the source of this madness. Calm down and report exactly what is happening here. What do we know? Send the best enforcers into the heart of the storm. Have them find its source. Yeah, that's not good. What is happening? The fires in the sky that crash on the ground and turn everything around them into ice. What? The moaning earth, the deadly sound careening from the cities, the purple glow in the sky. The furious storm has covered half the continent, but we can see its epicenter from orbit. The ruins of a xenostructure complex. What we thought to be the debris of buildings turned out to be a machine, and now rouses from its sleep, shining the blue and purple light from the spheres melded onto it. The deadly spirits have become more material, and now everyone can see that they are not dancing. They are fighting and chanting two names. Halcyon and Kasai. Thankfully, there are much less of them than there were before. Gaps have even appeared in the horrifying cyclone of dancing, twisting, and about the epicenter. What do we know? The leader of the Inquisitor squad, Lady Zhu, did not grace us with a full report since she has been hastily preparing for the expedition into the heart of the anomaly. But she mysteriously claims that we have become the witness of an ancient clash between the Xenos, and in spite of our unfamiliarity with their conflict, it is important to choose our ally in the struggle wisely, whatever that means. Some wretch by the name of Zay has come out of the thicket to meet our people. It is hard to understand him, but he has managed to explain to the soldiers that the Halcyon and Kese are fighting. Halcyon is in its usual way, and Kese in a wrong, corrupted way. It seems that he wants to collaborate with us and is trying to ask for help. Okay. 10%, 37%, 22%, okay, this is all bad. My people shall help Lady Zhu break into the heart of the storm. Have this wretch, Zay, lead my soldiers into the forest. We are ready to cooperate. Send the best enforcers to the heart of the storm. Have them find its source. Since all of these are bad, I'm going to go with what we would do, and that is help Lady Zhu. Success! Nice! The escort squad reports that the people of Lady Zhu demonstrate incredible skill, investigating the anomalies and advancing toward the epicenter. Our people have reached the Xenos ruins that once served as either a palace or a gargantuan machine. They have encountered an extremely high concentration of spirits. It appears that the spirits are fighting among themselves, with two particularly vivid ghostly figures among them. One of these prominent spirits radiates blue light and seems to be clad in Aldari armor. The other is engulfed in purple flames and clad in a Xenos ceremonial raiment. They utter sounds reminiscent of Aldari speech, but any attempts to translate them have proved unsuccessful thus far. What does it matter what those spirits are babbling about? They both must be slain. Et vetar. Turn to your warriors and inspire them to fight for their homes to the very last. They have already made sacrifices to get this far, so remind them what those sacrifices were for. Lady Zhu intends to fight both sides of the spirit conflict, but your soldiers are waiting for you to confirm her orders. Tell my warriors they are fighting for Yanis' future, one where the world is free from vengeful Xenos, and that their Lord Captain is watching. I'm ordering them to attack the spirits, both kinds. Do not engage. Maintain visual contact. Inspire them. Filled with courage, the rogue traders' warriors charged forth, as if their sovereign was at their side. Their wounds, exhaustion, and losses forgotten. They each fought with the strength of 4 soldiers, and exterminated the spirits, both blue and purple alike. The anomaly stopped ravaging Yanis. A group of explorers carefully approached the site of the battle and began gathering evidence to shed some light on the recent events. Piecing together the knowledge that they had gathered, they were able to retrace the history of this world. The planet, which was inhabited by Alderi prior to the fall, at some point became one of the many theaters of the war between sensual excess, the dogma that reigned over the Xenos of that time, and ascetic self-restraint. A local ruler, Kessi, was enlightened and wise, yet susceptible to depravity. In his desire to transfer his soul to another form of existence, he created a mechanism that would let him take over the bodies and minds of all his people. One of the ruler's bodyguards, named Halcyon, rose against the tyrant and mortally wounded him, but could not stop him from merging with the machine. Halcyon then gave his life to bind his own spirit to the device and continue fighting therein. This tragic conflict marked the end of all Alderi on the planet, but preserved an echo of their souls and those of their leaders. And we got shelter. 18 people. There we go. And that is rank 5. Very nice. We got Merciful Savior. Okay. We still got some things we can upgrade here. So we can get Scriptorum schools. It is possible to teach the serfs to read and thus educate enlightened servants under the supervision of monks. I do like that. I do like reading. Secret Lair. Xeno specialists will decipher the written records left by the ancient Xenos that once inhabited Yanis. That's security. That's not good. Payment and organs. The large increase in tithes may be supplemented by a decree that addresses the current shortfalls in other ways. Okay. Of these 3, I like the reading one. I'll get that one first. Man, this is going quick. Okay, we just got holy ammunition. Missionaries. The Karanis Expanse is needed, or is in need of stalwart defenders, and Foulstone can help by sending its children to every dark corner of the sector. Yeah. Why not? Holy Prophet. 4 profit factor and 6 people. Okay. What do we need for this? We need complacency to be greater than or equal to 7. What's our complacency at? It's at 6 right now? That's not good. That's not good, is it? Okay. Call to arms. Security for all the colonies plus 3. It is time for the Darganis nobility to forget their feuds and take up arms in defense of their native world. Militia Navy. The great freedom accorded by the Imperial Navy will allow the mustering of an impressive independent squadron not classified as pirates. 6,000 Imperial Navy, 2 security for all colonies. Triumph over the Expanse. All the inhabitants of the Expanse place their trust in the rogue trader during their hour of need. Flagship restores 33% to the cooldown of ultimate abilities at the end of space combat. Red warp routes always become orange. Yes, please. That sounds great. Vabos, pure blood, profit factor up. Alright, we can get Penal Battalion now. An entire planetary regiment of martyr guardsmen. A gift from the rogue trader to the Karanis Expanse in its darkest hours. Security up again. And our void ship gains 10% critical hit chance with macro cannons. Lovely. Orbital shipyard, profit factor up. And just a lot of great stuff. Also gave us 5,000 rep with the Navy. A new life. Retrofitted mining equipment may be of interest to the pirates of the Expanse, enough to make deals with them. Profit factor. Yep. Holy crap. It's finishing before we even... That's kind of crazy. What is going on? Okay, we've got all of these. I mean... Foulstone is just about finished. So we can get one more of these. Either one of these two. The requisitioning of religious tithes from other worlds in the guise of the ecclesiarchy gives the opportunity to keep a portion of the proceeds. Or indulgences for sale. Selling the forgiveness of the ecclesiarchy can be a significant source of revenue. Unquenchable greed. I'm gonna go with this one, just for the rep. And then we'll have to wait until we can get these guys. Which is just resources we need for that. Oh my god. New life is done. Okay. What's going on with you? Okay, so we are running out of supplies, really. Is what's going on now. Okay. We could get giants. Centuries ago, liturgies of assembly and first ignition were held on Kiabagama for majestic steel monstrosities, all-crushing mountain tunnelers, mighty cargo haulers, and voracious mega harvesters. This virtuous craft is lost now, but adeptus mechanicus artisans can revive it. Then once again, triumphant calls of klaxons will shake the Cronus Expanse. Profit factor and mobile extractums 10. That sounds great. And get giants. That's a little ridiculous. Alright. Just gotta wait for these. And that's how I want this one. The holy remains of the monastery, which was damaged by the launch of the Crucible, will be transferred to Foulstone's moon, which will be equipped with drives and turned into a sacred comet. All non-Xenos allies gain 5 bonus to all their characteristics and skills. That sounds amazing. I mean, I love this armor. This armor is really cool. Man, these rewards are all really good. I want them all. Reliquary. The monastery, having been damaged by the launch of the Crucible, will be transferred aboard the Von Valanci's flagship. It's a great reliquary and shelter for the Order of the Hammer. I'm between these two. This is really cool. But we can't get this yet, so I'm going to hold off on it. This is insane. Alright. There are 4 of these. So we're not going to be able to get all of those now. Okay. I want to wait. We're going to hold off until we get more resources. Okay. Yeah, we got all these. We got this armor. Light armor. That's actually really good. This is for melee combat. What is your agility? 4? So it'd be 8% critical hit chance. I do like the toxic damage. We're gonna keep that. So I don't think anybody needs this. Yeah. Okay. Alright guys, I think we're gonna end the episode right now as soon as we enter. Unless we get, you know, an event, which is possible. Yep, okay. Lord Captain, we have arrived in Don 4's system. Our translation from the warp was a little rough. A net loss of about 500 souls on the middle and service decks. And God Emperor only knows how many wounded. Look at the asteroid belt around this system. That's crazy. But that's only the half of it. The brain boxes on the augers are sending me reports that aren't doing my mood any favors. Real space here's got more holes than a sieve. Seth? I forget. And all our sensors are playing up. It's got to be sorcery, Lord Captain. If I was you, Lord Captain, I'd do what I came here to do, right sharpish and clear out while we still can. I've seen the likes of this before in the same region. Maybe our sorcerers will be able to explain it better. But here's what I know. Shit like this never ends well. Alright. We got some ships over there. Some icy planets next to a really funky looking star. Distorted star. This is cool. Alright, but we're going to have to explore this place on the next episode. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll catch you later.